welcome to General Hospital MV, my GH After Show. Before we get into this week's episodes, we have to discuss some breaking news that happened over the weekend. Michelle Stafford, who plays Nina Reeves, is leaving the show. Apparently contract negotiations just could not be met, and she has decided to jump back to Young and the Restless to reprise the role of Phyllis, who, as you guys know, is being played by someone else that took her place when she left to come to GH. So, that person is now out of the job, and that leaves, Nina in limbo, I guess. How much do you guys want to bet that Frank Valentini is in touch with Gina Tognoni to become Nina Reeves? That would be pretty wild, but not surprising. Now, this whole situation has caused conversation among both fandoms on whether it was fair of Michelle to go back to Young and the Restless, because it leaves Gina out of the job. It just, got her fired, essentially, just because someone else wanted the job back. Now, this isn't the first time we've seen it happen. It happened right here on GH when Jonathan Jackson wanted to reprise the role of Lucky Spencer, and he was treated even more poorly. I mean, the guy found out after he had shot his last scenes that he was being let go, like right away, and then Jonathan Jackson was pretty much there within a couple of days. Personally, I don't blame Michelle at all for wanting to go to a different show if her expectations were not being met with the show that she's currently at, and I don't fault her for taking back her former role, especially if Young and the Restless was willing to take her back in the first place. I mean, really, if the Young and the Restless wanted to, they could give Gina a new role. I mean, we've seen it happen on GH. We got Tamara Braun on the show, who used to play Carly, and now she's playing a different character. It's not completely on Michelle. The Young and the Restless, if they want to, could make her a different character and keep her in the job. But they chose not to. Now, in terms of GH and their storylines, do you think that Nina should be recasted, or do you think that Nina should just leave the show? I mean, I feel like it could go either way. Right now, her stories kind of are heading towards a big climax, finding out that Valentine faked the DNA test of her daughter and that she's been duped this whole time. I mean, that's a reason enough alone to leave Port Charles. However, there is the lingering fact that her daughter is still out there, and the way that the show is being written, it seems like Willow could possibly be her daughter, so that could mean maybe they should recast the character, or they could just finish the story quickly and just have her leave town either way. Obviously, if Willow is her daughter, Willow and Nina hate each other. So, I mean, Nina leaving town, being disgusted by the fact that this girl is her daughter, not that surprising either. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you want her to be recasted, or do you want her to leave the show with a bang? Because you know that she's going to give Valentine a piece of her mind when she finds out the truth. That being said, let's talk about the stories, and we'll start with Nina since we're on the subject already. Obviously, she and Willow got into it last week, and Nina was over the moon when she found out she was quitting. However, Willow changed her mind, and we'll get into why later because that'll tie into a different story, but she wasn't happy about that, and she is threatening to go to the school board to get Willow fired anyway because of how she called Nina out on being a bad parent for Charlotte. Now, as you guys remember, Maxie and Peter took it upon themselves to snatch Sasha's hair and get a DNA test done to see if Sasha was her daughter. Unfortunately, we also saw that Valentine was onto them, so I'm pretty sure that the results that they were about to reveal to Nina say that she is her daughter and that we're going to be in the storyline at least a little longer. It's, it's up in the air now since Michelle Stafford is leaving, but I honestly didn't expect the real truth to come out once I seen that Valentine was in on the situation. So, predictable, yes, but with, behind the scenes stuff, not as predictable. So we'll see if this storyline rushes quickly and gets to the truth fast, or if it just continues with a recast. Since we're talking about character exits, we gotta talk about Dante Falconeri. He just got back into town and he had some really nice scenes with Olivia and Mike and Lulu, a good reunion with his son and everything. However, there was a lingering situation in Dante's mind. He is having episodes of PTSD and nightmares about killing Lulu. He fears that he is being brainwashed, and he goes to Anna Devane for help, and she suggests this WSB, I guess, therapy place where they can unbrainwash him, I guess, and he's choosing to leave town for another, undetermined time. Which is super annoying because I thought that the point of bringing back Dante Falconeri to the show was to give him a proper send-off in the end. And it seems like they're just giving him the same exact send-off that he got last time, but with a different excuse. Like, just leaving the character in limbo again. And it baffles me because this guy, I mean, he's not very prominent on the show. Anyone could recast him at this point. I mean, obviously, Dominic is a fantastic actor, but so are a lot of the people that have left the show. And we've seen that Valerie Spencer is getting recasted, and she barely does anything on the show to begin with either. And same with TJ and Jordan. They've all been recasted and got recasted pretty quickly. Why is Dante in limbo again? We know that Dominic has no desire to be on the show anymore, so they might as well either kill him off or bring him back as a new face. I'll miss Dominic for sure, but it is what it is. We can't have this character constantly in limbo until, he decides to change his mind and come back. Alright, since we're talking about brainwashing, I think it's only fair that we bring up Shiloh next. Last week, we saw that Jason saw Shiloh with Danny in the window of Kelly's, and he was pissed off. And this week started with Jason confronting him about it, and Shiloh pushed every button of Jason's imaginable, and it put Jason into a position where he could put Shiloh into a chokehold, much like all of us have wanted to do this whole time, and it was great. But of course he got arrested and didn't say anything without his attorney because that's just what he does. And obviously Chase saw Jason in there and is practically begging him to give him any ammo on Shiloh because obviously Willow is in that situation as well. I guess I wouldn't mind seeing Jason and Chase work together because they both have personal stakes in this whole situation, but I don't think that Jason is going to work with police enforcement, so there you go. But either way, they need to get Christina out of there because Christina is so far up Shiloh's ass that she has disowned her whole family. She's gone to the point where she's calling her mom Ms. Davis. That's how far gone she is. They need to get her out. Their plan right now is not working. Something else needs to be done. Willow was already ready to leave town because of this guy. I mean, she put her resignation letter for her school and she went to meet up with Brad to say goodbye with the baby that she thinks is hers. But when she saw that Brad had a DOD book, she changed her mind pretty quickly and decided to stay. So I guess she's gonna help Chase fight Shiloh off, which is exciting. I have to admit, when it comes to Chase and Willow, I'm kind of meh about them. I feel like they are 2 day players that just get a lot of screen time, but with this meaty storyline, their acting chops are finally being shown off, and I'm kind of getting warmer to them. So good job, you guys. You guys are, doing a great job with this story. Chase is just adorable, so he's kind of hard not to like, I mean, it's all been in the physical for me, because look at him, but now I'm seeing strong sides to him. He's more than just a pretty face. He can be pretty intimidating. So let's see how much they grow from here on out. Alright, now let's switch things up and talk about Oscar, Jocelyn, Trina, and Cameron. Now, Oscar, as you guys know, has found out he only has a few weeks left to live, and it's getting real for his family, and the viewers, I think, too, that he is going to die. And Monica is trying to prepare Oscar for the end. She puts out the offer for him to move in with the Quartermains, and the offer stands for Kim to move in with them as well, but Kim said it's up to Oscar at this point. So I guess I'd like to see them in the Quartermain mansion. It'll be great to have them in the story with Oscar since he is a Quartermain. What do you guys think? Do you want to see him in the mansion, or is that just too weird seeing as his character is kind of short-lived on this show? Oscar also decided to tell Cameron that his life is being cut short too, and Cameron kind of held it together, but you can tell he was really devastated by the situation. Cameron didn't have a whole lot of time to process the information because he had to go to court since that whole Niagara Falls thing went down and he missed some of his community service. But the judge did give him leniency given the situation that happened, but this was like the last time she's gonna do it. Hopefully Cameron can stay out of trouble until then. Trina was there for moral support, and Elizabeth was watching her very carefully. I think she thinks that love is in the air, and she tried to encourage Franco to give Cameron the talks of the birds and the bees. Not a conversation I want to see between Franco and a kid. Just saying. Do you guys ship Cameron and Trina? I think that Trina is pretty freaking cool, and I don't hate the idea of them together, but I'm also thinking about when Oscar dies and Jocelyn is alone, is she gonna, go after them, and that's like the new triangle thing that's gonna happen? Guess we'll see. Now let's talk about Kevin, because Kevin is getting ready to go to court over aiding and abetting Ryan Chamberlain, which led to the deaths of 3 people and the stabbing of 2 others. I mean, it's a crappy situation, but Laura has decided to stand by her man despite Kevin saying that she should divorce him to get away from this whole bad situation for, being the mayor of Port Charles and all the controversy that being associated with him could bring to her job, I guess. But Laura's like, I don't care, like, you're my husband. I'm standing by you. Now, Ava has stopped drinking long enough to be sober enough to get yet another phone call of someone breathing in her ear, and she goes to the PCPD with Julian just to bring her phone and tell the commissioner what's been happening on her end. Now, she also decides to go to Curtis because he can cut through the red tape since he's not technically with the PCPD, although he might as well be. But he has connections that are outside of that and doesn't have to go through the channels of the law to get some answers. And the answers he got was that it was just a scam of a call and there's nothing tying it to the possibility of it being Ryan, which I find very hard to believe. Perhaps Curtis's sources aren't that great, because what else would it be? Like, that just doesn't make any sense. Obviously, Ryan can't stay in hiding forever. We know that he's not dead. It's too obvious that he's not. The body's not found. But at the same time, Morgan's body was never found, and here we are 4 years later, still talking about his death. So, I don't know. I just hate when storylines end up in limbo like this. It happens all the time on this show, especially, you know, with the whole Dante thing, limbo twice, and, you know, no end to his story. But anyway, that's this week's episodes of General Hospital. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, give it a big old thumbs up, subscribe if you want to, and I will catch you guys next time. Unsnap. Before I let you go, I just wanted to say that there will be another GHMV tomorrow on the anniversary of General Hospital. It's been 56 years, so they're going to be celebrating that Tuesday due to that one preempted situation. But I'll discuss it on Monday, my experience with the show, how I got into it, my history, why I love it so much, why I keep watching as much as I do. And I want to hear your stories as well in those comments. So now I will catch you guys tomorrow.